Today we're at John Prosock Machine, and I have a great story to share of an evolution. This shop actually started in 1982. We have 3 generations, family owned and operated. I'm standing in front of an older Toyota machine right now because this was the original way to machine. And how many of you out there are kind of doing something similar, right? You have that 3-axis machine, you have a lot of vices set up, and there's a lot of time where that spindle, as you see right now, and this young man that's setting up the machine, the spindle isn't spinning. This is the downtime that we talk about on a regular basis. And don't feel bad, this is quite normal. Even though we're wearing a shirt where exceptional is the rule, and I love that, 40 years going strong, we must evolve as well. And as we do that, we continue to work with great partners and make sure that we're comfortable with that evolution. But in doing so, we have to move into something bigger. This is how a job shop who has a high mix and low volume can actually maintain profitability and efficiency, is by investing in something like this pallet change. You saw the 3-axis, you saw the setup, you saw the spindle not running. Well, on a machine like this, you can do all of those setups and keep the spindle running. But I don't want to steal the thunder from my buddy Ken here, who has joined us on camera, because despite being treated to a nice dinner by the JTEKT family and the folks around, he really realized, along with his family, 3 generations at this point, how important it is to step into this style of machining. Ken, we're going to start with the fact that you actually do have a tombstone and a vertical or a horizontal machining center right on the other side over there. So it wasn't just a guess in the dark that you needed to go this way. Let's talk about how the first machine and the horizontal machining help you really decide this is the route we need to go.
So the machine over there is a lot smaller. You know, it's only 60 tools. This one we have 240 tools on. But we're able to do repeat jobs often and quicker with less setup than we were ever able to do on our vertical machines. So it's just, the setup time was way quicker. The tools are in there already touched off, ready to go.
That's honestly a great place to start. And we started this video off with a vertical machining center before moving to a horizontal machining center. What would you say, and I think some of this is obvious, but I want to build the foundation of the conversation. What would you say are some of the major differences of going from that vertical into what we're seeing here of a horizontal with 12 pallets?
For one, the operator over there has to load parts. You know, so you got somebody, the spindle stopped. You're not making money when the spindle stops. So the operator's sitting there loading parts, as you saw the guy doing over there. Where on this one, the machine is running in the center over there, while your guy over here can be loading the parts. So you save a lot of the time loading parts. It's always running the spindle. So, you know, that is one of the big reasons going from this. The setup time, again, is way quicker. There, we have vices on the machine, so every vice, you need to change the jaws, you need to change the tools. They only hold like 24 tools on this, where this one holds a lot more. So you're able to have all the tools in the machine, have the different pallets. So this one holds 12 pallets. So we do a lot of repeat jobs. So, you know, customers give us a job over again, or if they want it in a hurry, we can put the job in there right away because we'll already be set up, it'll already be running. You just call up the program and tell it what pallet to go, and it'll go. So no setup time, no touching off, and it's already inspected. You just got to do a little quick re-inspection on it then at that point.
You've covered so many topics, and I'm going to do my best to kind of dive into a little bit more, if it's okay, Ken. And the first one I want to dive into is that a whole lot of folks out there have similar issues as you when we think about the bottlenecks that come from the measuring, from CMM, from making sure these parts are good. But you've actually, through this machine, can help reduce some of those bottlenecks, right? That is a common theme throughout our industry, is we can get the parts done, but then they take a long time to measure. But you figured out a way with the pallets to be able to reduce some of those bottlenecks, right?
Correct. There's the pallets in there, the job's in there, it's ready to go. We ran it the last time, the tools stay in there, the job stays in there. So when you call it up again, as long as it was running right the last time, it's going to be running right this time. So, you know, all the measurements will be there, everything is going to be there when you take it off. And there, you know, we can have just the operator do the checking of the part rather than take it in the QC, because our QC department's a little smaller. You know, we only have 1 or 2 people, so it might get backed up a little bit. So out here, you know, the operator is able to do it and get it running quicker.
Yeah, it's very well explained. Now, I want to talk a little bit about hot jobs. Hot jobs, get your hot jobs. to me, it's a significant bonus for you guys to be able to say yes to something coming in and being able to get it done quickly.
Absolutely.
But maybe even more important than that is the customer base who can rely on you to say yes and get those rush jobs that maybe they needed because of something that happened on there. And you say, you know what, we can do that. And you're not gonna actually mess up breaking down the machine, setting up the machine. You're able to really get that in there and profit from it and make sure that you're being efficient and effective from your side as well. So everyone wins in this type of situation where you have a pallet change setup, right?
Yes, it definitely, everybody wins. So we even have a new customer. One of the things that we were able to sell them on is once we have the job running, because they, you know, run out of a part, run it, so they might need some parts within a couple days. So we're going to be able to have the job running on there. It's going to, you know, be inspected, everything's going to be there. And then the next time when they just call us up out of the blue and say, hey, we need 1 or 2 more parts, you know, we'll be able to do it. And there will be no tear down setups. It'll be all done and ready to go at that point. So we're able to, it saves us a lot of time, and we're able to sell the customer on that, knowing they have a little bit of support, being able to call us and be able to get their parts real quick.
All right, Ken, I have you on camera. The red light is on. So what you say is being recorded. But I heard a rumor that there's potentially, you're gonna add another machine to this pallet change because you can actually add on into the field and have 2 machines feed the pallet change and continue to do more work like that. Now remember, you're on camera, so if you commit to a yes, that means you might have to commit to the companies as well. But I know you're doing it anyway. I just make that joke because that is the way to evolve, isn't it?
Yeah, that is a definite yes. That was one of the reasons why we picked this machine, being able to add that extra machine. So, you know, it's gonna take us a little bit. We've only had the machine a couple months now, so as soon as everything gets going, and we have a lot of jobs on there where one machine can't handle all the work, yes, we're going to get a second machine added over on this section here. We'll have to get rid of or move some machines out, and then, you know, be able to run 2 where it's feeding. And then I don't know if we have room, but they also do sell a 3rd story for this, so we can even get 18 pallets on there then.
Amazing. We got to get one of those.
Right.
Then can I come back?
Absolutely.
Ken, all great explanations. And as we continue to add pallets and maybe a machine, we have to talk about the importance of the tool changer as well. The amount of tools, whether it's redundant tooling because of harder materials or whether it's a bunch of different tooling because you have so many different pallets. And I know you've had limited opportunity when it comes to manually loading and unloading, right? On previous projects. What does the tool change capacity mean to you?
It means a lot. We're able to have, like I said, the 240 tools on this, and you can actually have double tools. So you have probes in there. So if you have a spot where a tool might break or it might get worn out, you got probes in there that are able to come in, make sure the tool's still there, make sure it's touching or cutting all right. And then if it's not, it can switch to a different tool that you have called up to replace that tool. So it's a lot being able to have all the redundant tooling in there, and just for each of the jobs. I mean, when we got this thing loaded with 12 pallets, you know, some of your jobs take 24 tools. So being able to have 240 tools, it means a lot to us.
All right, Kenton, last question for today. And I want you to be honest about this. And I already know the answer, but have you ever watched any of my videos?
No, I have not. Sorry.
I want you to say that because, and you don't have to say sorry, but I say that because this is real, my friends. It's a real story. It's authentic. He doesn't even know who I am, but we want to tell his story to you because we think it's important for you to understand the agnostic, unbiased purpose of upgrading your machine shop. We saw the 3-axis machine. Now we're headed into pallet change. And if you want to know more because you've seen pallet change videos before, we actually have another video where we're going to bring Jeb on camera to talk about the specific details of this machine and why maybe this machine could be the pallet change of your future. Ken, thank you so much. We appreciate you. And thank you for not watching. Maybe in the future?
Definitely will be.
You heard it here, my friends.
Yes, sir.
Thank you all for watching as well.